send the person tremendous obstacles. כדי שיתגבר בחשק ביותר, in order that he should have even more yearning. Hashem is not limited. If he wanted to, he would easily give a person what he wants to do. But because the item he wants is so precious, high, it is unfit that he just doesn't express enough yearning for the item. It's only fitting that he should fully appreciate the item he's going to get. And the only way to get him to appreciate what they're giving him, what he wants to come to do, is if he has intensified yearning for the item. Then that enhances the value of it. Rav Nosson, if you take a look in the book Through Fire and Water, there's a section called The Years of Oppression, and that Rav Nosson had major opposition. There was a certain time in his life that there was tremendous opposition, and the opponents managed to get Rav Nosson under house arrest in a separate village, and to make sure that he will not make it for the pilgrimage to travel to be in Uman for Rosh Hashanah. And Rav Nosson was yearning and davening and crying. He said, Rav Nosson, if the road to Uman were paved with knives, I would crawl on this road just to be by Rabbi Nachman for Rosh Hashanah. But without a passport and official legal documents, I will not travel. He didn't want to put himself in the risk of danger that he would be imprisoned, God forbid, and it would lead to extended damage. So to avoid that, he said, I will not travel with false documents or without the proper passport and visas and documents in order to go, the legal documents. So he was crying a lot, Rav Nosson, and davening a lot. And in the end, the whole story there is explained. You can see it for yourself in the amazing book, The Fire and Water. In the end, Rav Nosson made it to Uman that Rosh Hashanah. And he said later on, that was possibly the most meaningful, the most precious Rosh Hashanah that he ever had by Rabbi Nachman in Uman. And it's understood because of the intense obstacles. It's an amazing story there, how the Breslovers worked to get officials unknowingly to sign a visa, a traveling pass, a document to allow Rav Nosson to get there. It's a whole amazing story. You can take a look for yourself in the book Through Fire and Water. But there were tremendous obstacles. And even once he was there, the police came looking for him, and they were shocked to see that he had legal documents. They couldn't believe it. And still, there was a demand to send him back right before Rosh Hashanah. And more miracles happened. The people put out bail money and guaranteed that he would come immediately after Rosh Hashanah. The point is, Rav Nosson expressed tremendous yearning because it was being prevented from him. Rav Nosson, more than anybody else, knew of the greatness and the power and the value of being by Rabbi Nachman for Rosh Hashanah. He appreciated it more than anybody else and understood its value and its paramount importance in the life of a Jew. That's why he was so pained not to go. Another person would say, whoop-de-doo, okay, I can't go. But in this case, Rav Nosson, knowing the greatness and the value, he pressed forward with his yearning and his prayers, and in the end he made it. And he said himself that was probably one of the greatest, most precious Rosh Hashanahs he ever had, and who knows what he accomplished. And the point is here also, that if you are in the process of wanting to do and accomplish something which is very special, very holy, and you don't have yet the matching level of desire and yearning in order to properly appreciate what you want to go to do, so from heaven, they will send you obstacles to prevent you from coming to it. All this in order to increase the level of desires, and this for the sake that you should appreciate much more and value much more the preciousness of what you are about to do, God willing. Okay? Rav Nosson now, it's Rabbi Nachman, but Rav Nosson now is talking here, rephrasing the ideas in the lesson. He says like this, V'al ken, therefore, when you see you have such obstacles in front of you, ראוי לאדם להבין כשיש לו מניות גדולות מאוד מאוד, understand that when he has major obstacles, major, big obstacles, להתקרב להצדיק, the example he's giving here, to come close to the tzaddik. You have obstacles in coming close to the tzaddik. ועומדים ומשתטחים לפניו מאוד, מכל הצדדים למונעו. Second, please. And the obstacles are standing and spreading themselves before a person very much from all corners in order to prevent him from coming close to the tzaddik. Mizeh be'atzmo yeda v'yavin. From this itself, you can understand and comprehend. Otzem ma'alat ha'nechshak, the unbelievable level of the desired item. Shemechamad zeh hameniot gdolot kol kach, that because it's so precious, that's why there's so many obstacles. The obstacles are not meant to just, okay, it's not for me, so I guess I should just walk away. The obstacles are meant to tell you what you're about to do is something very special. And from heaven, we want you to yearn more for it. Once you yearn enough, you'll get it. That's what it's for. Unbelievable what he's saying here. Okay? Because there's a rule for any item of holiness, any positive factor item. Yesh meniot rabot. There are tremendous many obstacles, ubifrat, and in particular, when a person wants to travel to be by true tzaddikim, the wording here is so sharp that on this item of traveling to true tzaddikim, and I think we've touched upon it in the previous classes, on this one item, everything is dependent upon. It's so funny. You would think in Judaism, everything's dependent on keeping Shabbat, on not desecrating Yom Kippur, on not doing idolatry or adultery, or not doing murder. And here Rabbi Nachman brings in something so, it seems awkward, so weird. And he's saying that this is the reality, that traveling to tzaddikim, true tzaddikim, everything in your life is dependent on it. We explained, if you remember, just in short, that the true tzaddik is called a true tzaddik because his whole purpose is to give you an awareness of the reality of your existence in order to wake up. The only way to get you to wake up and to come close is if you get a wake-up call to see the reality of your situation and then to cry and to yearn to come back to Hashem. This is what the true tzaddikim are doing. Meaning, people who have done tshuva or have converted or woken up, yes, they can rely heavily that it's not their actions alone that did it, that it's mainly the effort of the tzaddikim, the true tzaddikim, who work to send people these wake-up calls in order to bring them back. They may have done something tiny of some value to deserve it, but in the main, it's the push of the tzaddikim. But there's a continuation to it. It's up to the person now to continue the flow, that he doesn't go back and fall and get sunken again in his past. In other words, that he should advance now. Because once he has woken up, the evil won't so easily give up a person. So because of that, a person has to have the follow-up stage, which is to travel to be by the tzaddik. The classic example of this is to be found in Rabbi Nachman's stories. I think, if I recall properly, it's story number 6. It's called The Rabbi's Son. In Hebrew, Harav uben Yachid, the Rav and his only son. In English, it's been translated as the Rabbi's son. And in there, the example Rabbi Nachman brings of a son of a big rabbi who his whole life was just Torah study and prayer, and yet he felt a lack. He felt something missing. And he was advised to travel to a certain tzaddik, and the Yetzer Hara, the evil one, did his best to prevent this son from traveling to the tzaddik, and the evil succeeded, and this son died. He never made it to the tzaddik. Take a look there. You see more clearly the idea of traveling to be by tzaddik, what is gained, what is benefited. But in our context, one's whole Judaism is dependent on it. If now a person woke up, whether he's about tshuva or a convert or anybody, he has a wake-up call, and now he wants to continue, and the forces of evil won't so easily give up on that person. So now his next stage is to travel to be by the tzaddikim. Because if he doesn't complete this stage of traveling to make it by the tzaddikim, his past and what he was connected and attached to will eventually catch up and swallow him back up. That's why it doesn't help that you're keeping Yom Kippur now and keeping Shabbat, because if now you get back in your evil ways, you can easily fall back again, God forbid, to not keeping Shabbat, not keeping Yom Kippur. You need this follow up, which is called to travel to the tzaddikim, the true tzaddikim, because by doing that, you in a sense have a guarantee that you can have the possibility of receiving from the upper spirit, what we spoke about at the beginning of this seminar, the semester, to receive from the upper spirit of the tzaddik, and it'll stay for you for the rest of your life. So you have this extra portion, which is not yours necessarily, it's from the tzaddik, but the tzaddik reached a higher level, and he or physically left this world, or went up other levels, and you being close to him, and you making this move to travel to be by the tzaddikim, you gain from the upper spirit which comes down to bring the tzaddik to the next level, whether it's death to go up to the next level to heaven, or whether it's an actual going up from level to level. You're there, you gain forever, because you're not yet at that level to go up like the tzaddik is about to go up. You remain down in this world, and you're able to bring down to you the upper spirit of the tzaddik, so it stays with you forever, God willing. And with that, you have like a type of a guarantee that no matter what you'll go through in life, you won't leave Hashem. You won't leave Yom Kippur. You won't leave Shabbat. You won't leave the Torah. You'll stay there. You'll stay committed, and you'll keep on growing, God willing. That is why traveling to the tzaddikim is so important, because your whole Judaism, the continuation of it, is dependent on it. In other words, everything else that we taught, like we said, the cardinal sins and Shabbat and Yom Kippur, they're all very important, but they're still in a cup within something much more profound, much more important, that if you don't have this, then automatically you will not have, God forbid, even Shabbat and Yom Kippur, and being careful from idolatry, adultery, and all the cardinal sins, etc. And that's this point of maintaining that you have an energy with you to help you pass and stay firm in all the tests you may encounter through your lifetime. You will still be there. You'll be holding on to this. This is what's gained and benefited by traveling to the true tzaddik. You get this upper spirit, which gives you this energy above your level to help you in all the real tests in life. Okay? I see there's questions and comments. We'll get to them, God willing, eventually, please. So let's go on. And particularly he said, when a person wants to travel to the true tzaddik, then on this, everything is dependent upon as bevadai mitgabrim hameniot bioter. So when a person wants to come to do this devotion, this activity, this action, for sure, definitely, the obstacles rise much, much more. Aval, so he goes on now. He says, but you should know, yesh bechinat nekudat ha'emet bein tzadikim. There's still, in other words, as if this is not enough, it's now another level. However, there exists what's called the point of truth amongst the tzaddikim. You should listen very closely to this. It's a bit deep. It's a bit hard to understand a little. We'll do our best to explain it on a practical level. There exists what's called the true point, the point of truth amongst the tzaddikim. That when you want to come close to this point of truth among the tzaddikim, that on this everything is dependent upon, as מתפשטים ומשתטחים המניות מאוד מאוד מכל הצדדים. Then at that point, the obstacles spread out and try to overcome very much from all corners. In the actual lesson, he says, Rabbi Nachman, that it's true there are many tzaddikim. There are many tzaddikim. Many people can give a list of rabbis and tzaddikim that they know here in the Holy Land or in the. There's many tzaddikim. Rabbi Nachman says there's a point of truth amongst the tzaddikim, and when you have uncovered it and discovered where it is, so at that point the obstacles now surmount, because you have uncovered a level of what's called the real truth, beyond the tzaddikim, between the tzaddikim. In other words, in between, you found where it is. What is the right alleyway to find the point of truth between the tzaddikim? Many tzaddikim, and they all have a type of truth. They're all preaching and teaching the Torah of truth. But the idea that he's saying here, that there's what's called the point of truth among the tzaddikim, is that it's a higher level of truth. You probably heard this before in Rabbi Nachman's wording in Breslov theology, if you want to call it. Is what's called the truth, and there's what's called the real truth. There's the emet, like they say in Yiddish, the emes or emes, the real truth. And when a person tries to connect to the real truth, he wants to go beyond the reality. He doesn't want just to accept the status quo truth. He wants the real thing. He's not satisfied with it. I don't want to make a mistake, an error, a fatal error in life. I want only the real truth. So when a person is looking for that, and he's looking for the right seeking who contain guidelines for the real truth, so then the obstacles start and they wake up really bad when a person comes to realize a real realization of this. Okay? And again, from this itself, when you see that you're having unbelievable obstacles in your pursuit of Torah, of Judaism, of Hashem, of the truth, from this itself, you can come to understand the tremendous level of what you are desiring, the desired item, the item that you want to come to, as mentioned above. So therefore, there's only one option. You have to become strong, not to be a chicken. You have to strengthen yourself. That you have a desire and yearning which is very strong, which will match and be commensurate to the level of the desired item. And through enhancing your desire and yearning for the item that you want to come to, you will actually merit to break the obstacles and to come to it. It's useless trying to fight head on, because you see it's clearly impossible to achieve when you try to fight head on the obstacles. What's needed is not to fight the obstacles, but just to intensify your yearning, to stand there and to intensify your yearning and desire for the item, not to back off, to be there. You just don't know what to do. You can't advance. So you don't go backwards. You stay where you are and you intensify the yearning until they open the doors. They see that you're fitting to, yes, now appreciate fully what you want to come to. Then they open the doors and they let you arrive and come to it. Kizek klal, because this is a rule, and this keep in your pocket for your whole life. So this is a rule in life. She'ein shum meniyah ba'olam, there exists no obstacle in the world she'lo yuchal ha'adam leshabera, that a man cannot break it. That's amazing what he's saying. You have obstacles. There's no room. There's no justification to say, it's not for me. It's just so impossible to do. So therefore, it's not for me. No, there's no obstacle in the world that you cannot break. So what is needed then? Like we said, rak tzarich sheyeh hacheshek v'aratzon chazak meod. It's just you need that the longing and the yearning, the desire, should be very strong, to match the level of the desired item as mentioned above. So again, the point coming out from this is that you have to know where to invest your energy. Not to waste your energy on trying to fight the obstacles head on, but to invest it in the yearning. The obstacles were sent to make you feel lacking, to feel far, to feel pushed off, and to feel how incomplete you are without the item that you want. And the more you yearn for it, the more you can break the obstacles and come to it. Now, Sandra, you had a comment here. Let's see. How does a person know if obstacles are for desire or because Hashem doesn't want the person to have that thing? Let us say like this. If you are asking Hashem for a long time, Hashem, I want you to guide my life according to your truth, and you're open to the truth, Rav Nosson says that however Hashem now directs your life, after such a prayer, you can rest assured that it's in accordance with the real truth, His truth. The thing is now, after davening like that and discovering true items to do, like for example, a man begins to see that Rabbi Nachman puts major emphasis on the power of going to the mikveh, immersing in a mikveh. And he begins to see that it's such a big thing that there are people who actually immerse every day. And you have a guy now who reads this. He lives in some suburban village where there's no Jewish community and there's no mikveh for men. So he has to really work hard to go to the mikveh every day. He has to go to some local river or lake at the wee hours of the morning when nobody's there, not even joggers, not even bikers, no one, and to immerse himself. And he has major obstacles. Now, he can say technically, oh, it's not for me. But after being exposed and learning that this is something which is very precious and it's very good, then he can assume this is what I need to do. For example, another example about people who have tremendous obstacles of coming to visit the Holy Land, right? Oh, I'm not ready yet. It's not for me. How do you know it's the only reason why you're not ready yet is because your yearning is not there yet. But it's not to say it's not for me. Also, people who have obstacles going to, let's say, Uman or Shoshana, they don't have money to get a ticket, or the wife doesn't allow and the family doesn't let. You have to increase the yearning. That's all it is. It's not, oh, it's not for me. It's easy to justify and say it's not for me when you read and learn and follow up and know what has to be done. And it's crystal clear this has to be done. And then there's obstacles don't let you do it. So you can assume that these obstacles were sent to intensify your yearning. And there's no room to say it's not for me. In a sense, it's not for you because you don't yearn enough yet. But to just let go and use as an excuse, it's not for me, that's wrong. If you know what is the will of Hashem, and you know what the will is Hashem because number one, you asked for it in your davening, and number two, after the davening up of learning and reading the teachings of tzaddikim, picking up what's called their hashkafa, their perspectives, knowing that this is what has to be done, and this is the right thing to do, and period. This is what has to be done, and you know it, and there's obstacles in doing it. For example, another example, it's obvious that a Jew has to wake up early in the morning. And a person starts saying, oh, it's not for me to wake up early in the morning because I have such difficulty getting up early. I'm so tired and drained. I can only wake up at 11 in the morning. So it's not for me to be an early bird. That's not the real truth. Because the halakha does require that a person strive to wake up early in the morning. So interpret these obstacles, so it's not for me, I'm not ready yet. That's a chicken approach. To say, I'm not ready yet because I don't want enough, and I'm going to now work on the wanting so that I will be ready now. That is what's needed. Not to use, I'm not ready yet, it's me, as an excuse to back off. No. To use, it's not for me because I don't yearn enough. That's what's needed in order to enhance my yearning. And then you have people who say, oh, it's true, I don't yearn enough. And they stay like that. You don't yearn enough, so yearn. Do something. Get on with it. Not to just, okay, it's true. You have many people, religious people, they say, oh, I'm not zoche. And they say, like, by the way, I'm not zoche. They don't really mean it, though. I don't have the merit to do it. Do you really feel you don't have the merit to do it? You're just saying it because the obstacles are just so much. You've given up on it. And you just say, I don't have the merit to do what you're doing. You have to really believe in the item that it's needed and to yearn for it and to express the yearning and not the. Let us continue. Paragraph number 12. Here we go. Look at this. This is in follow of what we just said right now. Gam. Paragraph number 12. Gam ein ra'oi la'adam lifto atzmo. Also, it's not fitting for a man to try to exempt himself and to find for himself all types of excuses and the answers. Lomar, to say, oh, seeing that I truly want and yearn and desire to do this item of holiness, I know it's something positive item, I really want to do it. It's just that I have obstacles, the honest, and I'm now in an uncontrollable situation beyond my control. Alken, so therefore, let it be considered. It should be considered as if I did it, and this is not an empty excuse. because we find that this is brought down in the Gemara. Like our rabbis teach in the Gemara. Chashav la'asot mitzvah. It's a Gemara in Brachot, page 6. It says like this: La'asot mitzvah, a person who thought to do a mitzvah. He thought, in other words, chashav. His thinking is, I want to do this, such and such a mitzvah. V'ne'enas, and he was prevented by circumstances beyond his control. Ones, velo asa'an, he did not do it. So the Gemara says, Ma'ale alav katuv, the Torah considers it as if ki'ilu asa, as if he did it. So you see this excuse, this approach of I want to do it, but I can't. But I want to do it. Please Hashem, consider it as if I did it. We see technically it is a valid approach brought down in the Torah itself, in the Gemara. Okay? But listen carefully, this is amazing. It's brought down. A person wants to do the mitzvah and he's prevented from doing it because of the obstacles. The Torah considers it as if he actually did it. Ki'ilu, as if. So Rabbi Nachman says, when the Torah is talking like this, they're talking to a person based on his perspective. The Torah is like a mirror in a sense to a person. You'll find in the Torah what you're looking for. If you're looking for all types of leniencies, you'll find the leniencies in the Torah. If you're looking to fulfill the Torah, the mitzvot and the precepts in a proper manner, you'll find that also in the Torah. Each person, according to what they're looking in the Torah, you'll see how the Torah shines itself and talks back to a person. Based on what you're looking for in the Torah, that's how the Torah treats you. If you're looking just for the truth, the absolute truth, I don't care about myself. I want Hashem's truth, not my truth. Then you'll be guided using the Torah, through the Torah, to find Hashem's truth. But if you're looking, yes, I want to serve Hashem, but in my comfort zone, that everything should be according to what I can manage and what I can handle, without killing myself, you can also find that in the Torah. There are Jews which are called modern. They're more modern. In other words, they're more open they fulfill the Torah, but at the basic minimum fulfillment, where there's a lot of leniencies involved, so that they can have more of the comfort zone taken care of, and within that, to fulfill the Torah. Okay? You have people who are like that. And the Torah offers for each person based on what they're looking for. But the thing is, what people are looking for is based on how strong is the level of truth of what they're trying to hold by. And this is not the idea of being stringent and lenient and normal. There's also in the Torah what's called stringent opinions. There's stringent, there's leniency, and there's what's normal. There's also normal. We're not talking about being super lenient. And also Rabbi Nachman says, don't be careful, don't be over stringent. Be normal. The thing is, what's normal? Each person, they say, no, this is normal. Dressing and doing the mitzvah this way is normal. But if they look carefully in the Torah, they know they're fooling themselves, that they made the way, the way to be a status quo normal. That also is not correct. They're looking for the truth in a predisposed fashion that it should be adapted to me. I'm looking for Hashem's truth, but if it's too strict, I can't handle it. I need what's normal requirement, what the Torah requires. Okay? So let's see, let's go on. When the Torah says that it's as if a person fulfilled it, he thought to do the mitzvah and he was prevented from doing it. So the Torah considers that he's accredited to it as if he actually did it. This is specifically to the person. It's talking to the person who wants to fulfill the mitzvah in this format, that he wanted to do it, he couldn't do it, he was prevented to, so it's considered as if I did it. When the Torah gives this reward, it's talking to a person who wants to accept that situation, but doesn't mean that that's the absolute truth. To accept the situation and you're credited to it. The Torah, when it says that in the Gemara, again, it's talking to the person who his perspective is already bending to that attitude. He doesn't want to exert, and work on himself forward. He wants to be in his comfort zone, and from there to fulfill the Torah. So the Torah gives reward, and benefit for even someone like that. Okay, you got it. So this case, exam, is for someone who wants to have this fulfilled in this manner. As you said, such a person who's not willing to push further forward, he's actually Yotzi, actually fulfilled the mitzvah. Because again, Kimalu Lasot, what can he do? He had obstacles. He was prevented from doing it. What do you want from him? If there's so many obstacles, you can't force him. You can't force him to jump over the the wall when they tell him to climb. They make it impossible for him. Then what do you expect? Malu Lasot. So the Torah gives an opening for a person. Okay, you're accredited to as if you did the mitzvah. But again, because the mitzvah, the energy, the reward of the mitzvah is unlimited. So there's many levels of reward in fulfilling a mitzvah. You have one mitzvah, and 10 people fulfill the mitzvah in different ways, in different levels of self-sacrifice and exerting. So for sure, the reward of each person is different now. The person who really wanted to do it, and he exerted himself to the maximum, and then he broke the obstacles and actually did it, for sure he's accredited to a high level. Another guy, the lower guy, who wanted to do the mitzvah, but he was prevented because the obstacles were too much for him, and he stopped at that, he's also accredited to a reward. But the reward is for sure not the same as the guy who actually did the mitzvah after many of obstacles and sufferings and ups and downs until he got to finally do it. Okay? So again, what can he do, the guy? This guy who wants to be Yotze, he wants to fulfill the mitzvah with the rabbi's statement that it's as if he did it. The poor guy, he has circumstances which is beyond his capacity, beyond his reach, beyond his control. But somebody who does not want to fulfill his obligation with this attitude, what can I do? I wanted to do it, but I couldn't do it. I was all prevented. So I'll let it be credited that as if I did it. Someone who doesn't want to fulfill this because he knows that this is just a minor level and an excuse, and his potential really shows that he can pass the tests and make it further. It's just that he's not willing to live up to his potential. Okay? Rather, he wants the actual mitzvah itself. Oh, hadavar shebikdusha be'atzmo, or the holy item and activity, action itself. In Ken, so therefore, such a person who won't be calm until he actually gets to the point. For example, he actually comes and makes it to the Holy Land, or he actually makes it traveling to a true tzaddik, like you brought earlier. Mamoilo, what does it help him? Lo, that which the Torah offers a leniency for such a person, shenechshav ki'ilu asa, that it's considered as if he did it. Kihu eno mekarer dato imakilu. Because such a person who wants the mitzvah itself, he doesn't calm himself down with the as if he did it. What the rabbi said, the kilu. He wanted to do it, he was prevented. So it's considered, he's accredited to it as if. He doesn't want this as if. I want the mitzvah itself. The person yearns and longs and lusts very much to do the mitzvah itself, and not to fulfill his obligation with the as if he did it. Because the truth is like this. It is fitting for every Jewish man that he should complete what his aspirations and goals are. Where his desire and goals should be fulfilled. In any item of holiness, not worldly items. Like a guy says, my goal is to climb Mount Everest. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a person doing mitzvot that he knows it's for the sake of holiness. And to bring it out from potential to actual completely. That's what he wants. And somebody at such a level of yearning, such as this, he will definitely merit in completing the act, and to finish it and do it, fulfill it, to bring it out from potential to actual. And and he will merit breaking, nullifying all of the obstacles and all the preventions that were beyond his reach, beyond his control. Because again, the rule is Kikulam lo ba'u b'shila cheshek. Because all the obstacles in the first place, they only come in the first place only for the sake of intensifying yearning on part of the person who wants to do the item. As mentioned above, cheshek chazak, and when a person will have strong enough yearning, kfi ma'alot hanechshak, matching, commensurate to the level of the desired item, that he should appreciate it fully. Such a person will definitely merit to complete everything that he wants to do in this world. When in particular, what we're talking about is any item of holiness that it may be. Now, what's interesting is Rabbi Nachman has a follow-up on this paragraph in his other book called Rabbi Nachman's Wisdom, Sichot Haran. And in there, he quotes what he says in this lesson, even though I said in lesson 66 that a person should not calm himself down with the as if he did it. He should want and yearn for the mitzvah itself. Nevertheless, Rabbi Nachman says, even if a person never gets anything done, the yearning itself is of tremendous value. So in a way, it's contradictory what he says in 66 here and what he says in Rabbi Nachman's wisdom. So a type of answer, again, this is my personal opinion, and the answer is that items that a person doesn't fully want yet, he doesn't know the value of them, he wasn't shown in the first place the value of them. So on such a person, the yearning is enough. Because what do you want from such a person? He doesn't even know that there's a value behind what he wants. That in order to have intensified, to even know that there's a value in what he's doing. Okay, so what that you didn't make it to Uman Rosh Hashanah? You know, there's many other tzaddikim. You can stay home with your family. What's the problem? The person doesn't know about the value of the item, so that it makes sense that he should accept the yearning. Look, you wanted to go. You bought your ticket. You made sure that your passport was renewed. You know, you saved money on the side, and all of a sudden, your wife had to give birth. She needed you last minute. You prevented. Okay, what can you do? And such a person says, okay, I guess, I wanted to go. I did my efforts, and I believe in this, but it was too much obstacles. I couldn't do it. So Hashem, please let it be acceptable as if I did it. Such a person who doesn't so much know the value of the item, so it makes sense to be accepted that the desire is good. And lemay nafkamina, what is it? What do we learn from this? That a person has never ever a reason to be broken, because if he didn't get to do something, at least he has the yearning for it. That's great. That's what Rabbi Nachman says in Rabbi Nachman's wisdom. But here, when a person is exposed to knowing the greatness and the value of the items, he's been taught, the tzaddikim revealed to him teachings of X, Y, and Z and their value. So now he says, what? This is what's gained? For sure I'm not going to give this up. No way. No way am I going to let go of this. So such a person now, when he has intensified obstacles, he will do his best. There's no such thing as I'm going to have obstacles. No way. I'm going to be there on time. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. This is something amazing. So this is the difference of what he says here and in Rabbi Nachman's wisdom. Here it's for the person who's already been told of and taught the value of what he wants, and then he has obstacles. So now he's really compounded with pain because he knows the value of the item, and there's such obstacles, and he doesn't want to fulfill as if I want the item itself. Rabbi Nachman's wisdom, it's a person who was underestimated, he doesn't know the full value, or at least the minimum strong value of what he wants to do. So he's willing to accept obstacles. I want to do it. I want to, Hashem, and it's not working out. Please, Hashem, take my yearning. That's when Rabbi Nachman says that the yearning is of tremendous. There's many stories I can say about this. I would like to go on though, because let's see how far we can get in finishing this lesson, God willing, before time is up. Paragraph number 13. A new item, a new um, concept that he's adding to his lesson. Kaas mazik leparnasa. Anger. Rabbi Nachman now introduces the topic of anger. Is very damaging to one's financial sustenance, one's money, one's wealth. When a person has such a level of anger that it ruins his parnasa, so this is a sign and indication that he is far from truth. Because why is he getting angry? If you recognize that Hashem is in charge of everything, why are you angry? Yeah, no, this, that, I couldn't handle it. So you're far from truth. If the truth was shining and radiating within you, you wouldn't get angry. Yeah, for example, just an example, some people get angry because, or they're in physical pain, or they're under stress, and it just caused them to get angry. So the anger is not necessarily a byproduct of a lack of truth. It's because the person is in pain, he's drained, he's tired, he's under stress. Something else is causing the chaos. Still, the cause for the person's stress or the pain that he got himself in a situation now where he's in pain and he can't tolerate anybody, there, that's the factor of the truth or not. If he was in a level of not so much truth, which led him now to get in a stressful situation, which led him now, for example, to overeat. So he's groggy and tired and he's intolerable and he can't handle anybody. He gets angry for tiny things because of his heaviness, his pain because he didn't take care of his health, for example. So here, also, even though it's not directly a result of a lack of truth, it is a byproduct of something that there should have been a truthful attitude, which wouldn't have led him in the first place to come to the byproduct eventually of the anger. So to counter it is truth. And a person now who does get angry, it causes damage to his parnasa. In other words, the flow of godly influx is stopped, is dammed up, it's blocked, and this is the indication that the person is far from truth. Meaning, to get out of this situation, the person now needs to reconnect to the truth. So he goes on just on this idea, because when a person's financial means become very, very tight, when a person is very tight financially, he falls into the category of someone who needs people. He needs people because the person doesn't have money. When he sees a rich guy, for example, he just stares at him and honors him because he needs that person. This person now has money and everything, and he can possibly help me myself. So therefore, I'm now bending my truthful attitude because of the person. Let's try to explain this idea. Here we go. The area of truth damaged is prayer. In other words, the prayer of a person when he needs other people, this is where the damage takes place the most, that he can't pray out of truth. Because prayer must come out of the heart, right? Like we say every day in Ashrei, Karov Hashem chol kore'av lechol asher yikra'u ve'emet. Hashem is close to all those who call out to him. But then the pasuk it configurates meaning to all those who call out to him in truth. For Hashem to be there next to you, you have to be in the words. You have to be one of the words. If now you're just saying the words of prayer and your head is elsewhere, there's very slim chances of your prayers being answered. Like Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa, he told people, I know if my prayers are answered on how clear, how much truth are in the words that I'm saying. If my prayers come out smooth, which means the level of truth is intact with every word of the prayer, then I know my prayers were accepted. And if they were chopped up and I couldn't pray with such clear concentration, meaning a lack of truth that I can't connect to the truth of the words, my head is elsewhere, which is an indication of a lack of truth, a falsehood, which is overcoming my mind with foreign thoughts and distractions, and I'm able to get caught up with them, shows that the sheker is stronger than the emet. The falsehood has the upper hand in me more than the truth. My dosage, my level of truth is not strong enough to counter being distracted and just swept away with the distractions. So, truth, the area of truth that's affected is prayer. And now, when a person now, through anger, which is a result of lack of truth, he gets now constricted, dire straits in his parnasa, in his financial means, and then he now feels he needs people. So as soon as a person needs people, automatically he cannot pray out of full truth anymore. And if a person can't pray, which is the faculty of speech, then he cannot bridge from what was mentioned earlier, from potential to actual. Because the bridge of potential to actual is the yearning, and the idea of yearning is to express it in words, right? Like we said, Nikudot HaKasef, the points, the vowel points of yearning, where the vowels are expressed through speech. That's the expression of the yearning. It's not enough just to have the yearning in your heart, but you have to tell Hashem, Hashem, what do you want? I want to be a good Jew. I want to travel to the tzaddikim. I want to come to the Holy Land. I want to be holy, but Hashem, it's just so difficult. I can't handle it, Hashem. All I want is to be a good Jew. All this, Hashem, I have the whole world. I could easily just run away like everybody else and run into the world. But Hashem, I've chosen to drop the world for you. Everything I've given my whole life, self-sacrificed everything, my parnasa, my family, everything I've given for you, Hashem. And now you push me away like this. Well, what are you going to benefit? What am I going to benefit? We're all going to lose out in the end. Convincing arguments like this, for example, and expressing the yearning in words, this is the bridge from potential to actual. But however, now, when a person now lacks truth because he needs people, and the needing people means that he will no longer turn to Hashem 100%, but we may be 90%, 85%, 80%, but there's also this part in him that I'm dependent on other people for my life. I'm not dependent on Hashem for my life only. It's not only Hashem anymore. I need other people. And the reason why a person has fallen to this is because the constriction of the parnasa, of the financial means, has such an effect on a person to get him trapped into sheker. Because the real truth is that when a person says everything is from God and I accept whatever he sends to me, so automatically such a person has parnasa. Because you recognize clearly that everything is from Hashem. So you're one with the truth, and therefore the parnasa comes down. But when you have a tightness and you feel the tightness, it's one thing to go through the tightness and to be able to live happily with it, showing that it doesn't bother you at all. That's truth. The person doesn't feel the tightness of the situation. He's just one with God no matter what happens. But the other person who doesn't feel that, he feels trapped. So that's an indication of sheker in his perspective. Because the fact that he's feeling the pinch of the strains on the parnasa shows that his level of truth is not strong enough. This, by the way, is how a person should talk between him himself. But God forbid to judge another person. Look at that person, how much he's suffering, he can't pay his bills, and he's in poverty. It's because he's far from truth. I cannot say that. I don't know how the other person is holding, and I have no idea why he's going through what he's going through. And I have no idea, even if he says what he says, how really he's taking his situation. I cannot read into the heart of the other person. This is for me and myself. In other words, other people, I should have some type of compassion. I should have some degree of compassion and help them if I can. Visit Hashem. But here, when it's talking to me myself, that I am judging myself, why is this happening to me? Why all of a sudden did the washing machine break down and the car broke down and the insurance went up and all these bills now and I don't have now enough money for Shabbat and this and that? What am I going to do? Why is this happening to me? It's clearly because of a lack of truth in my perspective. Because if the truth was intact, I wouldn't feel this pinch, it wouldn't bother me, number one, or I wouldn't even fall in such a situation in the first place, God willing. So the closer a person is to truth, the less there's anger, and the more he has the parnasa because he's not dependent on other people. And his davening, which is the key for the parnasa, is now 100% dependent on Hashem. Let's continue this, right? Like we said, that when a person can't daven in truth, he cannot complete from potential to actual all the mitzvot. Okay, let's just continue this last point. It's a bit tricky. Let's try to finish this lesson. Here we go. Paragraph number 14. When a person successfully does break and overcome the anger, and it's funny, it doesn't give us necessarily the advice what to do, but we know it already. The yearning itself is the way to get back the truth to break the anger. Okay? Through this, when a person manages successfully to break the anger, a person makes and draws down the concept of the spirit of Mashiach. Amazing. ונחשב, and it's considered when a person breaks his anger, כאילו על ידו נתהווה ונברא כל העולם ומלואו. It's considered as if a person himself, through himself, created and formed the whole world. These are deep items, but the time is limited. I can't really explain all the ideas carefully. Let's just go through this. And then when a person now has this aspect, the spirit of Mashiach, and it's as if he's created the whole world, he merits to have parnasa, wealth. And to daven truthfully and honestly to Hashem, levado, only to Hashem, no one else in the picture, without any ulterior motives for anybody else, for people, God forbid. The Zochen, a person merits when breaking the anger to bring out from potential to actual, all the mitzvot and all the items of holiness that the person has to say, has to do. The last paragraph, let's do this. Shabbat hu bechinat emet. Shabbat is a key in connecting a person to the truth. Oh, there's so much to say about this, but we have to just continue. And through the truth, which is the aspect of Shabbat, generated from Shabbat, is from this is drawn the downfall of the wicked. And it becomes revealed in the world once the wicked people fall, so there's no one covering up who's really out there. Who's really out there? The tzaddikim and the righteous and the upright people. So it becomes revealed now, the tzaddikim and the righteous people in the world. And through this, speech holiness becomes complete. There's so much to talk about this, but we're limited in time. And through this, prayer is completed. We've now finished lesson 66. I hope that this semester was beautiful and powerful and practical, and you can take something with you from this lesson for the rest of your life. If you can please, please, please go over this lesson using Rav Noson's prayer, 66 in the 50th gate, volume 3. There's comments here, I see. Everyone's saying thank you. Okay, thank you everybody also. Beryl, thank you Teresa, thank you Ray, thank you Dean, thank you Sandra, thank you everybody, thank you Mercedes. Have a beautiful Purim, everybody. Have a beautiful Adar. And just one quick insight, Mordechai is the idea of the potential, and Esther is the actual. And the bridge was the prayers of Mordechai and the prayers of Esther. Because Mordechai couldn't do the miracle. The miracle had to come through specifically Esther. But Mordechai was the one behind her to get her to bridge and to bring out her potential to actual. You were sent to be in the palace of Achashverosh only to save the Jews. And if you don't do this, Hashem will send the salvation from elsewhere. And you and your whole family will perish. Who knows if you will continue to exist being in Achashverosh's palace? Who knows for how long you can keep the secret that you're a Jew in his palace? Mordechai was the one to push Esther to bridge from potential to actual, and that was through the fasting. They fasted for 3 days. She said, Esther to Mordechai, everyone should fast for me. Sumu alai. Shloshet yamim, 3 days. Everybody fasted for 3 days. And the Midrash brings down, this was to activate the merit of Avraham Yitzchak and to get to the merit of Yaakov. Because Yaakov is the essence of the truth. And like we know, give truth to Yaakov, the verse says. And by connecting to the truth, once the truth was connected to, then the yearning is unstoppable. The person realizes the truth of the item of holiness, of its value and its necessity. A person won't settle for anything less, as if he got to it, as if he did it. Just imagine if Esther failed her test and she said, Hashem, you know, I tried my best to save the Jews. Please let it be considered as if I saved the Jews. With that argument, we wouldn't be here now, right? We wouldn't be here now if she said, as if. I said, I need to save the Jews literally. We need to have Am Yisrael continue literally. And she worked until it actually happened. She risked her life, she went in all the way, and she passed the test. This is one of the deep things behind the Purim story, is the bridge between potential to actual, and not to be afraid. Haman's decree, all the Jews are going to be killed. That's it, it's finished. So the chicken will say, well, back off. The obstacles to activate the salvation are too much for us. Forget it, Hashem. What can we do? No. Mordechai told the Jews, keep on davening. Keep on davening. You can take up the decree. and don't stop davening until we see with our own eyes that the decree has been nullified. And that's how it is for a person in his personal life. You don't stop. You go all the way with Hashem. You go all the way and you go even further until the obstacles are finished. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you for joining this seminar. And may you be blessed. And may we all hear Nachman's teachings. And I really forgot to mention at the beginning of the class, and please Hashem considered it as if this was done retroactively, that this class was sponsored by Nader Manish in honor of activating the complete healing of our dear teacher and friend, Reb Chaim Kramer's daughter, China Rachel Bat Gita Genendo. And the merit of these teachings that came out, I didn't mention at the beginning of the class. I'm mentioning it now at the end of the class. Thank God I remembered. My apologies, I didn't remember saying it at the beginning. Let it be considered retroactively. And it is, we're saying it now, that everything that was said in this class should be to activate a complete healing for China Rachel Bat Gita Genendel, the daughter of our dear teacher, the one responsible for all of us discovering these teachings of Nachman in English, of Chaim Kramer. All the best, everybody. Have a great week and only good.